Hey everybody, Martin Williams here. What I really care about is putting people in the position to control their own life. And we've been talking about this idea of that you are not exempt. So you are not exempt. You're not exempt from deciding yourself. You're not exempt from making your own decisions. You're not exempt from understanding where you want to go, what your goals are, what your dreams are, what your desires are, and then making a decision to go there. All the other decisions in between here and there are easy to make. But if you never make a decision to go there, that's what you want. This is the desire. This is the call. This is the dream. Then you never get there. You have to make these decisions yourself. You know, everybody around you may be contemplating, they're thinking, they're trying to figure it out. They are wondering, they are reading books, they are listening to other people. They will never get anywhere because they never decide. The power of a decision is really the power of life. You never get anywhere until you do that. So what I want you to think about and make a decision right now is simply this. I have to decide for myself. I have to decide everything. There comes a time when I have to make a decision that I'm going to go someplace. Something I desire, I have to do it. So now say to yourself, I'm going to be a decision maker. I'm going to make my own decisions. I might listen to other people. Here's the idea that I learned a long time ago. You make your decisions very fast and you change your decisions very slowly. Let me help you understand what I'm saying. Make decisions because you know what you want. You ought to be able to look at an opportunity, a person, a trip, a book, what you're going to wear. You ought to be able to make those decisions very fast because you decided where you want to go. And you change those decisions very slowly. In other words, while you're on your way to a destination, you're going to run into issues. You're going to run into problems. You're going to hit roadblocks, yield signs, stop signs, detours. Those are going to happen. But you can't be changing your decision every day based on something that didn't go right. I can't decide not to drive to the next city because I have a flat. I can't decide to turn around because my GPS is no longer working. I can't decide to come back home because I received a phone call. How important is your destination? Did you make a decision to go there? If you've made a decision to go there, then continue on your journey until you're absolutely sure it's not the right place to be. Your dream may escalate, but it's never going to change. It's always going to be the same. That same thing you dreamed about at 6, you'll be working on it at 60. I'm telling you the truth. You'll still be working on a bigger version of it, a destination that's even further out in your trajectory. You're going to still be working on this as you die, right? Because you'll never get there. We already talked about that, right? So make decisions. The person that can't make decisions never gets anywhere. Once you've made a decision, now you can do the second most important thing. Take the initiative. You don't have to wait for everybody. Everybody doesn't need to understand it. You may not even know what the next steps are. But if you have made a decision, get moving. Get on your path. Get on the path toward that thing. If you're driving from Omaha to Kansas City, go ahead and map out the next destination to St. Joe. If you're going from LA to New York City, mark out that you have to drive through Missouri or you have to drive through Nebraska. Go to Nebraska. Get on your journey. Now that you've made a decision, take the initiative. Well, I made a decision, but I'm waiting for someone to give me permission to go. No, you are the leader. You're responsible for leading yourself. So launch out into the deep if you have to. If you don't take the initiative for your life, then it means you're giving that away to someone. That, my friend, never works out to your advantage, right? It's rare that it's going to work out to your advantage, that you are literally abdicating the power to make your own decisions and now taking the initiative. The last thing I want to tell you is that when you're deciding, The number one key is that you have to build trust for yourself. Do you trust yourself? People, I hear them saying all the time, and I've even been told, Martin, I don't really know if I can trust you. I'm never offended when people say that they don't know if they can trust me. I'm never offended at all. Because what they're really saying is they don't trust themselves. They don't trust their intuition. They don't trust where they're going. They don't trust what they might need from me or anyone else. When you learn how to trust yourself, make your own decisions, you know that you can make a decision on whether to trust other people, if this is good or bad for you. Now, because you're initiating yourself, you don't have to wait for anyone else to make those decisions around you. You've decided, you've initiated, and the people you meet on your path are on your path because they're where you're going. They're in this direction of where you're going. And you'll learn from people, you'll learn from things, you'll learn from opportunities that are out there. I'm always impressed with people who act on what they think. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily work out the way they think, but they act on what they think. This is a person that has a sense of how the game is played. We call it the sports intelligence. If you're on the football field, there's just some things you do. There's just some things you do and other people don't do them because they don't know themselves. They haven't decided to win and they don't take initiative over their own. Is there a mistake that happens? Yes, it happens. But they're still committed to taking the initiative in their own life. You too, my friend, you are not exempt. You're not exempt from this. There's not going to come a day when someone says, oh yeah, it did not work out because you were following Peter. Peter told you what to do and Peter was wrong. No, it's going to be, what were you thinking? What did you do? Did you take initiative? Did you build any inertia on your route to what your destiny is? If you're going to control your own life, you've got to decide to control your own life. You've got to decide to lead your own life. Well, what are people going to think? People are going to think you're controlling your own life. If you run into an immature person that's upset with you, and I go through this all the time, people will get upset with you because you made a decision. Had nothing to do with them. You weren't even thinking about them. You were thinking about you. You weren't thinking about hurting anybody. You weren't thinking about leaving anybody out. You weren't thinking about taking advantage of anyone. You simply made a decision for yourself, right? If people are around you and they have a problem with you making decisions for yourself, then they haven't reached a position of maturity. They're still dealing with it. That is not your problem. That's not even your issue, because you can't change what's on the outside of you. You can't change another person. You can't change the way they think, right? So that's why you need to be sure that in your relationships, they are comfortable with you making decisions, taking initiative, moving forward in your life, not getting stuck, getting unstuck, not staying in the mully grubs too long. Those kind of decisions you have to make. If you don't make your own decisions, others will. That's what's the most important thing, my friend. So now, sometimes these concepts, as I say at the end of every one of these, sometimes these concepts can sort of hit you in the face. They can be a bit off-putting. They can be a bit challenging. They can reach into your soul and grab you. So it's difficult to breathe, because now you're going back in your life and you're saying, I didn't make a decision, so that happened. I didn't make a decision. Forget all of that right now and just absorb this understanding that you just received right now, in that I've got to make my own decisions. It's a taking this in as truth. Don't blame yourself and just say, I get it. I understand it now. So from this day forward, I'm going to start making my own decisions. I'm not saying I'm going to X anybody out of it. That's important. But I have to make decisions. I can't move from here unless I do. Make sense? I'm Martin Williams, and what I care about the most is you controlling your own life. Later.